Good morning, BrandDIYers. I am sorry I'm a couple of minutes late today, but I had another meeting running right into the 10 a.m. start time. So hope I can make it up to you by making this a real whiz bang of a show. And I have got a topic that I am personally very, very excited about. As a matter of fact, it is a topic that is core to what we're doing here at Brand DIY. Let me backtrack. Today is actually supposed to be a book review. And the book that I want to review is this one. It's Tribes by Seth Godin. Those of you who don't know Seth Godin, I don't think there's very many of you, so I'm not even going to talk about that. But those of you who do know Seth Godin know that he writes on a wide variety of topics, generally around marketing, perception, branding, stuff like that. But just what makes him so amazing is that the lessons that Seth Godin teaches go past methodology in business, in marketing, and branding, and go into much more personal, bigger scope human issues. So while the lessons are about how to make your business better, the real lessons are much more broad in scope. They're about humanity and what defines us as humans. And that brings us to this book. Tribes, as the name says, is a book about tribes. It's about bringing groups together and what makes a tribe different from a crowd. Now, I'm going to get to 101 level first. I'm going to start off so we all have a common language. Tribe, according to Godin, and I believe pretty much everybody else who thinks about it a little bit, a tribe is a group of people that are connected by communication with each other, and they have a common idea that they rally around, a common belief that they rally around, and they have a leader. The people in the tribe, they communicate with each other, they communicate up to the leader, and the leader communicates down to them. Now, these are things that make a tribe different from a crowd and what make a tribe powerful versus a crowd. A crowd is just a loose gathering of people. There is no central focus there. There is no idea binding them together. They're just in the same place at the same time. They do not have a leader. There's nobody in the theater when somebody yells fire who says, follow me, come this way, do this, do that. They all just run off and trample on each other. A tribe is an organized unit and a very, very powerful unit for that. Tribes are nothing new. As human beings, we are social. We figured out a long time ago that if we stick together, chances are we will not get picked off by saber-toothed tigers or alligators or whatever else was nasty that tried to eat us. We could defend ourselves as a group from all of nasty nature, and we could survive and thrive by helping each other out. So there you go. Right there, you have a group of people that believe that it is more powerful to come together and share things in order to survive. That's the common idea. And then a tribe always has a chief, whether that's a man or a woman or a group of elders who they look up to and respect and get direction from. Core to a tribe, though, is that the chiefs have to speak to all the tribe members, and the tribe members have to feel they can speak to the chief. All right? Christians are a tribe. Religious groups of all stripes are a tribe. So are political parties, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals. They're tribes. Now, here's one thing that is very, very interesting that comes out right at the beginning of the book. A lot of tribes don't look like tribes. Tribes, when they grow to a certain size, become an institution. And then they usually have a very hard time maintaining what is important to a tribe. That is, they forget what that central idea is that bound them together. Perhaps that lived in the leader. Or perhaps now there's so many of them that they kind of forget what that idea is that pulled them all together in the first place. You see this a lot in big organizations. Catholic Church, for example, an ancient institution. I'm a Catholic, and I feel Catholics have kind of lost the script. They have forgotten, a lot of us have forgotten what the story's all about. That is the Ten Commandments, play nice in the sandbox. Instead, we focus on rituals and politics and dogma. And you know that a tribe is dead when it starts thinking about rituals and politics and dogma, because they've forgotten the central idea. If you're in the States right now, you can probably look at the Republican Party. Well, you know that if the majority of Americans are backing Joe Biden, but 100% of the Republicans in the party, in the Senate, are not, you're kind of wondering if they've lost the thread. Are they doing what they actually set out to do as a tribe in the first place, which is make America better? So that is the starting point for Seth Godin's tribes. What he goes into next is that it is easier than ever before to create a really, really good tribe. And if you look back to our earliest days, it is a really good thing to create a really good tribe. It is something that all of us can and should do. Why should we do that? Because tribes give us a sense of strength through community, through shared interests. We hang out with people who are like us, who support us, who we can support, and it gives us a sense of that social cohesion that we love. Now, if you're wondering where this is all going and why I'm so fascinated by this book and why I love it so much, is because I lived the journey from working in an institution to trying to find my way in the world post-institutional life, post-corporate life, and then finding a tribe. So let me describe that a little bit. When I got my start, I worked my way up in advertising. And advertisings are corporations. And in that sense, I would link them to the Catholic Church and to political parties who have lost the script. What corporations do, they make things. All corporations make things. And my corporation, where I worked, we made advertising. Now, it was an exciting business. I'm not faulting that. However, it wasn't a tribe. We figured out a long time before I started in the business, the smarter people than me said, you know what, let's start an advertising agency. Let's shake things up. Let's do some cool ads. And they did, and they grew, and they grew, and they grew. And then what they discovered was if we just keep making ads and churning out ads, we're going to make a whole lot of money. And if we do good ones, we'll win awards. So we'll look famous and we'll still look cutting edge. But make no mistake, advertising, for all the talk about creativity and cutting edge, is as status quo as an accounting firm. Accountants, no offense intended. So I worked in an advertising company for a long time, and I made ads. And then when I got to a certain level, I was a manager, and I managed people who made ads. But all we did was hit rinse and repeat over and over and over again, and we had kind of lost the script. We were making things. I got out of advertising because I was tired of making things for a big company. And here, I believe, Seth Godin's book talks to all of us brand DIYers. We probably all came from a background in a corporation where we somehow, for reasons we couldn't understand, felt we had to get out. We were tired of making the same things over and over again. So we got out. In my case, I became a consultant, and that wasn't really cutting it either, because as a consultant, I did what I did at an ad agency, except on a smaller scale. So it was different, but really, no. I had not found my tribe. It was only when I started BrandDIY that I started to get what a tribe is. And this was before I read Seth Godin's book. What I figured out was that I had a belief forged through years working in a big corporation in advertising, that advertising wasn't a mystery or mystical science that was hyper complicated. It was actually pretty simple. It's simple enough that anybody, given a few tools and a bit of coaching, can do themselves. Hence, BrandDIY. And it was when I discovered that, when I thought of that thought, and I went, yeah, that's really cool. How am I going to make money at that? Turns out I'm not. What I'm going to do is gather a group of people who also believe that a brand is something that an individual can take control of, an entrepreneur, and surround ourselves with other people like that and share ideas on how to create more powerful brands ourselves. And by starting it, I guess I was the leader, but I don't want to be a person who leads from up on high, not having communication. I want to have constant communication with all the members of the tribe. And all of us together rally around the idea of BrandDIY, that we make our own brands. So, I think what we're doing here is starting not a company that makes things, but a tribe that makes change. And that sort of threaded the needle for me, and why I love this book. Because one of the core thoughts in this book is that companies make things and tribes make change. Now, I want to tell you a little personal anecdote. One of the BrandDIY members, she was my friend, and she worked in a big corporation. And then what she did, she said, you know what, this is suffocating me. I'm going to get out of this big corporation and I'm going to follow my dream. And she went and she followed her dream. Now, a core group of people inside the big company said, yeah, you go, girl, you go do that. And they cheered her on. But what was really interesting was that a lot of people in the company started to trash talk her, talking about how she went out and she shouldn't have gone out and she's going to fail and she doesn't have any chance. Does that sound familiar? I think it should. Probably all of us have gone through that. Now, that's the interesting thing, because companies create things. One of the things that companies create is security. A lot of people hover towards security because they want a steady paycheck, they want benefits, they want a good retirement package. They don't want to be stressed too much, and that's fine. For a lot of people, that's a fine thing. Movements and tribes, however, create change. And so if you are a person who is chafing against that sort of certainty and you jump out of that certainty, that company, I think it's really beneficial if you say, hey, what's my tribe going to be? How am I going to get my social support? How am I going to create a movement around an idea? For myself, I can only say that the movement that we've created with BrandDIY gives me great comfort, because I feel I can lean on everybody in here and get their advice and get their tips and tricks on things and just feel they're there. Feel all of you are there, and that we're all kind of following the same North Star, and that we're here to change the way people think about brands. With my friend, the same thing. She is now starting to find a tribe based on her passion, and she is communing with them, and she is very much in the business of being scrappy and getting out there and doing new things every day and creating change. So tribes, the Seth Godin book, I only described about a first quarter of the book. There's a lot of stuff in here, but I thought this was an important book for anybody who is a brand DIYer. Because if you have just left a corporation and you are looking for a sense of meaning, tribes give you that sense of meaning, and they help propel you forward as you are hungrily out there looking to create change, to create something new, to start a movement with your new company or your new brand. I can tell you that reading this book helps you make sense of the situation that you're in as an entrepreneur on a very, very human level. It has helped me immensely make sense of this crazy world and see in BrandDIY what we've really got, which is an awesome peer-to-peer network where we all help each other and we create change in the service of taking control of your own brand. So that's what I got for BrandDIY today. Review of Tribes by Seth Godin. I would highly recommend this book to anybody who is out on their own as an entrepreneur and perhaps questioning why they left the safety of their big corporation and why they're out chasing this dream right now. It has helped me immensely, and I believe it will help you. That's all I got for today. Tomorrow we have a special guest on the show, so stay tuned. Talk to you tomorrow.